What's up, everybody? This is Tuba Solo coming at you with another gear discussion. So we're going to discuss a stove tonight. It is the Soto Windmaster. That's this guy right over here. This is a terrific stove. It has a lot of really great features. We'll just quick go through them. Concave burner head creates a ledge around the burner, so it kind of protects it from the wind, hence the name Windmaster. It has a micro regulator that really does well and gives a nice consistent flame throughout the life of the fuel canister. It has a piezo igniter, always wonderful to have. And what's really nice with this particular version of the stove is that it actually comes with two different types of pot supports. This is the Triflex 3-prong pot support. According to the website where I got the information from, this is ideal for smaller ultralight pots. And you just kind of push that guy on there and you're ready to rock and roll. And for those of you that are dealing with more than just yourselves, what's also included is this particular, let me see here, I got this guy turned around a little bit, is the 4-flex pot support. And like the name, what it does is it provides four different it provides a pot support that has 4 different legs on it, so it gives you a little bit more stable setup for the bigger pots. It says, according to the specifications, that it can hold a pot that's 5.7 inches in diameter. Some other really great features about this thing is that it's relatively light in the overall grand scheme of things. With the Triflex pot support, the stove is 2.4 ounces. And with the 4-flex pot support, it's 3 ounces. Now, it's certainly not as light as something like a BRS stove, but it's certainly not like carrying an old-timey MSR whisper light stove. Now, one of the things that is stated in the specifications, and this is kind of the reason why I want to do this video, it says, and I'll read it verbatim, it says, "The Soto Windmaster Stove packs down small for easy transport on ultralight backpacking trips." Packs down small. Okay, this has got to be about the most non-packs down small stove I have ever owned. This burner head is massive. This shaft right here is a lot longer than any other canister stove that I've ever owned. This micro regulator sticks out further than any other micro regulator that I have on any of the stoves that I've ever owned. If anything, this is the anti-stove that packs down small. Once you add this guy into the mix, this guy maybe not so bad. This guy flattens out. But even with this flattened out, you still have to deal with this. So I got to thinking, okay, so since this stove is apparently everywhere, where exactly can this stove fit other than the baggie that it comes with? It comes with a nice little baggie. You can keep everything in there. I mean, I get the idea that you keep everything in the baggie, but I've often thought that us backpackers, we have a bit of a sickness. Okay, we like to compartmentalize things, especially when it comes to our cook kit. For example, this particular ultralight pot down over here. If you haven't watched a video on this particular cook kit, this is my main cook kit right here. I'll go ahead and I'll link it up here in the card on the right hand corner. But when you look at this kit and you watch that video that's linked up in the card, you're going to see that everything has its proper place. Everything is nested really nicely and it's very functional and it works great for me. I would strongly encourage you to go watch that video. But being, you know, that kind of a person that really likes to pack things a certain way and have everything work in a system, I look at a stove like this, which is just an absolute beast of a stove, and I look at the stuff that I have and I think, this can't fit in anything. I'll give you an example. This is a Snow Peak 600 pot. Great pot. Lots of people use it. Can't fit it in there. I gotta put it in there like that. Obviously I'd close it up a little bit more, but pretty much can't put a canister in there. I gotta save the entire area in there for the actual stove and all my other knickknacks that typically would go in there. Not the worst setup, but still, I can't nest all my stuff into one little package. So I got to thinking, what exactly could this stove nest into. So I started looking at some of the gear that I have, and I came up with two options that I'm hoping, you know, are going to work out pretty well and kind of give you guys some ideas on how this stove operates. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually, since the Triflex is a lot easier to work with, I'm going to actually not use this thing because I think it makes it too easy to nest into certain type of backpacking cookware. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to put this guy to the side, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put the 4Flex pot stand on this. Basically, I'm going to make this thing as big and as bulky as it can be, and as you know, for lack of a better term, as offensive as it can be, and try to nest this thing into the two different systems that I have over here. We'll go with the easier one. I'm going to be honest with you too that right off the bat, one is a lot easier than the other and actually provides a lot more options than the other, but nonetheless it gives you a couple options and kind of gets you thinking on what you can do and how you can start putting together a cook kit that's going to work for you that will also allow you to nest this tremendously wonderful stove. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and start with the Snow Peak 700, okay? What's really nice about this guy is definitely wide enough so that this stove can fit, ooh, almost dropped that guy. This stove can fit perfectly right in the bottom. Now what's really nice with this stove being able to nest as deep as it can into this pot is that it allows you to continue to add the stuff that you would typically add in there. You can continue on adding your canister in there. You can still fit a spork on the side, the Snow Peak spork that typically would go into here. It still allows you to do that. You can still add a hot lips in there. You could still add a lighter in there if you wanted to. You can still add your bandana in there. What's really nice about it is that it nests deep into this particular cook pot. All right, so that's one of the options that you have available to you. The second option, like I said, not exactly as fully functional as that, but still exceptionally functional. Okay, I don't have the full kit in here right now. Again, check out the video if you want to see the full kit. But this cup right in here is actually just as wide as the 700, and it kind of does the exact same thing. It nests inside the cup that's inside the greater cook kit system that I typically will use. Now, the one drawback to this, as you can tell, can't put the canister in there anymore. I guess I could find a different place for it. You know, I guess I could probably live with that because the stove is actually that great, and I really want to start utilizing this stove over the other stoves that I have. But I just have to realize that if I'm going to be using this particular system, I'm not going to be able to put the canister inside with all my other stuff. And if I don't do any cooking, I'm just going to be doing Mountain House, and I actually want to be able to put everything into one pot. I'm actually not going to be able to use the Snow Peak 600 anymore because it won't really fit in there correctly and nested very nicely. It's going to actually push me into the 700 pot, which is really not that much more heavy. But again, it allows me to be able to do everything kind of the way that I want it. Hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with the Soto stove. Again, it's a terrific stove. I really don't want to knock it. I mean, it's a very efficient stove. Again, I'm not going to go through all the wonderful features of the stove, but this really is a great stove, and the one drawback that it has is that it doesn't really nest into anything. It's just everywhere. Hopefully this kind of gives you guys a couple ideas for those of you that are interested in the Soto stove and interested in possibly making this your primary backpacking stove. So that's pretty much it for tonight. If you are not a subscriber, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Go ahead and make sure that you hit the bell for notifications. You don't want to ever miss a video. On this channel, we are always doing adventure videos, cook kit videos, cooking videos, and other types of gear videos. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.